2019, Steve King said white nationalist, white supremacist.
According to who?
This was a direct
According to the New York Times, which he has challenged the existence of whether he actually ever said that to the New York Times. They have not produced one recording of it. And if anybody has provided one other eyewitness account that verifies whatever it is, I'm just not one of these people that treats the New York Times as the Bible. I'm sorry, it's not.
Yes, this is good. I'm going to play the video so you can enjoy it. Recently, Vivek obliterated Washington Post reporter with epic response after she asked him a stupid culture question regarding white supremacy. Vivek is always spectacular and when it concerns responding to these questions, responding to these liberals. And it is reaching a level some are limiting interviewing him because of the way he put it out. Truthfulness.
In 2019, Steve King said white nationalist, white supremacist.
According to who?
This was a direct
According to the New York Times, which he has challenged the existence of whether he actually ever said that to the New York Times. They have not produced one recording of it. And if anybody has provided one other eyewitness account that verifies whatever it is, I'm just not one of these people that treats the New York Times as the Bible. I'm sorry, it's not. They've lied to us for years about everything from the pandemic that shut down this country for the last several years to each of the last two presidential elections, from tech-suppressed information in the last one to what happened with the federal police state that tried to infiltrate Donald Trump's campaign in 2016 and stopped him from governing, to you could just go all the way back to the Iraq War, to the truth about what happened with the basis for the bailouts. You can go back as far as you want to the front pages of the New York Times to tell you enough to be skeptical of what you read. I've gotten to know a man, and if what Steve King tells me versus what the front page of the New York Times tells me about what he actually said, I'll take Steve King's word over what some fake reporter has said without an iota of proof attached to it.
Mr. Ramaswamy, at the beginning of your event today, you had a video playing the endorsement from the former representative Stephen King, but you didn't bring it up during your speech. Given that he lost his primary by a sizable margin after those racist remarks came to light, do you expect his endorsement can actually help you on January 15th?
I'm proud to have Steve King's endorsement, and I think that he has been wrongfully villainized by a media that not once has quoted the alleged racist remark or whatever it is that he made, and I just reject a lot of this mainstream media narrativing. But for my purposes, he and I have found common cause in issues that no other Republican candidate is speaking to. Against the CO2 pipeline, using eminent domain to seize the land of innocent farmers who don't want that built in their backyards. Somebody who actually, before it was cool, was calling for building the wall. Now something we accept needs to be normalized policy in this country. And so, yes, I'm proud to have his endorsement. And I've met so many Iowans on the ground, very different than the media, who understand that somebody actually stood to represent their interests, saying the things that other people weren't willing to say on issues ranging from the carbon capture pipeline to actually securing our borders, to actually reviving our national identity and even making English the national language of the United States, which I agree with. And so I'm proud to have his endorsement. I'm not a political analyst. That's your job. Maybe you should try doing it.
Yes, people in Iowa on Wednesday witnessed a legacy media reporter being obliterated by the most based presidential candidate in the Gulf presidential primary outside of Trump. As media reported, a female Washington Post reporter wanted Vivek takes on the overhyped subject of white nationalism after former Representative King endorsed him Tuesday. King was repeatedly accused by the left of embracing white nationalism while in office and lost his House seat in 2020 after being stripped of his committee assignment over the issue. The outlet reviewed the confrontation took place at a Wednesday campaign event in Scott, Iowa.
You didn't say that you condemn white supremacy.
I'm not going to recite some catechism for you. I'm against vicious racial discrimination in this country. So I'm not pledging allegiance to your new religion of modern wokeism, which actually fits the test. I'm not going to bend the knee to your religion. I'm sorry. I'm not asking you to bend the knee to mine, and I'm not going to bend the knee to yours. But do I condemn vicious racial discrimination? Yes, I do. Am I going to play your silly game of gotcha? No, I'm not. And frankly, this is why people have lost trust. And I know you're going to go print the headline tomorrow. I already know this. We already know how your game works. Vivek Ramaswamy refuses to condemn white supremacy because you asked a stupid question. The reality is, I condemn vicious racial discrimination in this country, but the kind of vicious and systematic racial discrimination we see today is discrimination on the basis of race in a very different direction. You want to know what the best way is to end discrimination on the basis of race? Stop discriminating on the basis of race. Do that, and we're going to move this country forward. And I don't care whether you're black or white or brown or anything in between. That's how we're going to unite this country. You people have been responsible for dividing this country to a breaking point, creating a projection of national division. I meet people from the south side of Chicago to meetings like this one of every shade of melanin, multiple, from man to woman, doesn't make a difference, who are hungry for reviving unity in this country. And you, with your catechism that you try to get to politicians to whatever fake headline you're going to print on the basis of this conversation tomorrow, that's what's dividing this country to a breaking point. Shame on you. Look people in the eye and tell them what you've actually failed to tell them for the last 5 years. Own the accountability for your own failures as the media. That's how we rebuild trust in this country. And until then, I don't have a lot of patience to play the games.
What do you expect from
This was on point. This need to go viral. Listening to Vivek is so educational. I see pattern in news and generally accepted ideas and views which are actually wrong and biased to the core, which I would have missed otherwise. He has this amazing capacity to provide an argument or explanation for something without being biased. It's awesome to see him in action, decimating the mainstream media. And when they realize you are doing this to them often, they deviate away from you. They don't like to even interview. They don't even like to interview you, like what I saw recently with CNN, that Vivek will not be part of the debate. He's spewing conspiracy theories, he's doing this. If you see the mainstream media actually doing this to someone, pay attention to that person. Try to go deep to understand what the person is actually doing. You will see something contrary. Vivek took up a decision. I'm not even going to be part of that. That day, the debate is happening. I'll be with Tim Kaz. So you understand exactly what is going on here. Vivek is good. That is a fact. He always articulates his word direct to the point, to the level they hate. If you realize someone who hate the truth will not obviously like people who speak it. They'll call you all sort of names. That is what I've seen with him. To end this video, I want to use this opportunity to appreciate people that have been there for me throughout, sharing out my videos. I understand sometimes I do piss off some people with the type of videos I put here, but I really don't see that as a big deal. I just want the truth. People should know what is going on, and I just speak my mind, and people feel uncomfortable when I do that. Reason sometimes they unsub. I was supposed to be going up every day, but when I look at my subscriber count, it continued to drop. Why? Because people don't agree with my point. I went through the comment section. Some actually get offended when I put out videos about Trump.